Hi, everyone. This is Real Talk with Coach Sherri. And you know what? I wanted to talk to you guys about what you call your kids. So I have 3 children, and when I refer to them, I always refer to them as my kids, like 2 of them are in college. One is a senior in high school. And so right now they're on spring break. And the 2 that are in college are home. And so I'm always so happy when all of my kids are under one roof. And so I always say, oh, my kids are all home and da da da. And people, first of all, are always surprised that I have multiple children. And then when I tell them their age, they be like, oh my goodness, you have grown kids. And I'm like, yeah. And so my children my youngest will be 18 this month. My center child is 19 and my oldest is 21. So I was thinking, I don't really like to call them kids because they are so much more than that. They're mature, they are wise, they are smart, observant, they do the right thing. I just feel like kids is like not enough to describe them. When I have just my daughters, I might refer to them as my daughters or my chicks or my girls, but like my girls type. When it's my son and it's just me and my son, I always refer to him as my son, my young man, my son. I don't say the boy or whatever. So I was trying to think, what could I call my kids instead of kids? I just don't like that word, and they're not children, so I don't want to call them children. I mean, I did give birth to them. They were children. I was a child. I don't like to be referred to as a child now. I'm a grown woman. All of them are just about grown. So I don't want to, I want to give them something that would elevate them, that would give them more purpose, that would have them, that will show them in a much more mature and respectable light in my eye. So I was talking about it to one of my peers, and her and I are really good friends. And I said, what is something that I could call my kids? What do you think? What are some things that you think? My seatbelt is twisted up. And she said, what about calling them your legacies? Refer to them as your legacies, because that's what they are. They are part of your legacy. You had them, you raised them to represent, you and your husband, your family, your past, your future. So why don't you refer to them as your legacies? And I thought about it and I was like, legacies, I really like that. That sounds so much more connected. That sounds so much more purposeful. So now, instead of referring to my kids as my kids, I'm referring to them as my legacies. So when I talk about them, I'm going to refer to them as these are my legacies, or my legacies are all home. And that really made me feel good. I felt empowered by saying that. I felt purposeful. And I had asked them, I was talking with them and I said, you know what, you guys, I don't really want to call you kids. How do you feel about legacy? And they all thought about it and they said, you know what, I kind of like that. So I was really happy that they were all in agreement with that. And, I'm not one for using the typical words to describe my children. So for instance, or my legacies. My center child, some people might say, oh, you mean your middle child? No, I mean my center child. And I've called her that since day one. Well, not really since day one, since my 3rd child was born, because she's exactly 20 months younger and 20 months older than both of her siblings. So when she was born, my son was 20 months old. When my youngest was born, my center child was 20 months old. She's exactly, to the day, almost to the minute, that much younger and older than her siblings. So I was like, she's more than a middle child. And I don't want her to grow up having a middle child syndrome. I want her to be empowered. I want her to know that she has a place in our family. So I want to call her our center child. And that's how I always refer to her, as our center. So when it came to, renaming, reclaiming what I would refer to my children as, legacy to me just fits so well. I really received it. I accept it. I love it. If you have children, what do you call your children? How do you refer to them? Especially if they're grown-ups. If they're younger, I get it. I used to always say, come on, kids, let's go. That's just something you say and do. But if you are a parent to adult children, and I mean children that are 18 and above, how do you refer to them? Do you still refer to them as kids? I think about what my mother, how she used to refer to us. My father never really would refer to us all as sons, daughters, or anything like that. But my mother would always call my brothers her boys, even when they were grown, and they were in their late 40s when my mother died. She would always refer to them as her boys. Everyone knew them as her boys. And for me, she would just call me her Sherri, my Sherri. You know, she didn't say my daughter, she would say my Sherri. So I was like, okay, I don't have like, I do call my daughters girls, my girls, but they're like my girls. I love them. They're like also my best friends, if that could be. But, you know, I really enjoy their company and everything. But I don't like to necessarily always call them that because they're young ladies. And since I only have one son, I can't say my boy. I just don't like the way that sounds. But I really like my legacies, and even referring to them as the legacies. My youngest child, she she's funny because she refers to her brother and sister as the siblings. Oh, the siblings are home. The siblings are coming home. Oh, the siblings and I are going to this concert. Me and the siblings are out. And I love that she calls them that. I think that is so special. That is so special. But you guys, leave a comment down below and let me know what do you refer to your children as? You know, do you call them your kids, your children, our gang, our seed, our legacy? What do you call them? From now on, I'm going to call mine my legacy. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you've caught a nugget or anything from this video, please be sure to like. If you know anyone that might also enjoy this video, be sure to share. If you have not already, I would appreciate and welcome you to subscribe to my channel. And until we speak again, please stay safe. And remember, this has been Real Talk with Coach Sherri.